Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life here for the SpiegelMom Scraps Shop. Welcome to Minimalist Thursday. Today I wanted to work with these awesome small glossy embellishment bags. It is a pack of 50 and they are awesome. So I wanted to work with these, and then I wanted to show you how I do mixed media in small amounts. So I love mixed media. It's really fun to play with. I like to get messy. I'm all about that, but I have a really hard time doing mixed media all over my layout, so I like to do it in very small doses. So I wanted to work with that with you today. I'm going to be using 3 Dazzlers, and we'll see how that works. It's just the 3 I grabbed. So I grabbed the Gummy Bear Blue, which is that really awesome, pretty blue. See You in the Morning, so that pretty teal color, and also the Coral Me Crazy. These are beautiful. They're probably my favorite 3. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that and my glossing bags and see what I can come up with for you today.
So I start out by laying out my bags, and I'm just going to grab some of my stencils that I have from my stash, and I'm also going to grab some of the shimmers. The one I'm showing you what I'm doing, I'm just using the Coral Me Crazy color. I did use all of the colors to make the bags, but I just wanted to demonstrate with that one. So most of the shimmers products for these ones are, I believe these are the Dazzlers. You can find them in the shop, and I'll make sure to leave a link. You'll love them. They're absolutely beautiful and pearlized, and I love them. They're a great product to use on your layouts. So again, the reason why I'm doing them on my bag is I love mixed media, but I am a little afraid of it, and I don't tend to like to have it all over my layout. So I wanted to just be able to show you how I do it when it's in small amounts here. So I'm showing you my finished ones. I did some in hearts, and then the triangles, and I did one with that too. So I just did a few of them. I'm going to decide which ones I want to use. I believe I lean towards a pink and a green, if I remember correctly. I think those are the 2 I'm going to use, but I'm just kind of going through deciding which ones I want to use. I don't want to use a lot, just enough to help make a statement for my layout. And then I grabbed just a plain sheet of the white cardstock. It is an American Crafts brand, and again, you can find it in the shop, so I'll make sure to leave a link for you. And then I'm just kind of showing you, I'm not using very much for this layout, just a few little pieces. I have a couple strips from my stash. It's kind of my scrap stash that I have. I grabbed a frame and 3 Project Life cards to help do the layering there. That blue Project Life card that has the really awesome heart on it, I am going to cut that so I can make it part of my journaling. I really love that card, and I wanted to be able to utilize it to the fullest extent, so I'm going to just grab that and cut it out, and then it'll be part of my Project Life, or excuse me, part of my journaling for this layout. And now I'm just going to kind of play and see which bags that I want to use and I think are going to work well. I wasn't really worried about using pink, even though this is a story about my son, because A, he's not born yet, so it's more about me, and B, it's kind of a little bit of, it's really small amounts of pink, and it's more corally than pink anyways, so I figured he'd be okay with it. I did rotate my paper after I had taped those 2 strips at. I found that I was having a hard time finding the correct balance when it was at the bottom, so I just simply rotated it to the top and found that that worked a lot better. And now you can see me cutting out that Project Life card like I talked about. I just, part of it is I didn't know how else to add journaling. I didn't want to really write it on the white because I wanted to keep more of a crisp layout. So that was part of it. And again, the other part of it, it's so pretty. I didn't want to not be able to use it and just cover it up with, you know, just my photo. So, but I wanted the bit of blue there as well because I originally was going to use one of those, that Gummy Bear Blue on my layout, and so I still wanted hints of that blue coming out because I really liked the way that that looked. And so as you can see, I just covered that on one of the bags. What I love about it is because it's smaller than the bag, the hearts and that mixed media is still coming through and it's still making a statement, but it's softened because of that, and so you just see little hints of it coming through, and I really like that. Again, it helps make it look so it's not like for my layouts, it's not mixed media overload, because I know that if I tried to do that in a lot of places, it would just look like a big hot mess. So I really like that in that small dose there. So I'm now working on my title. Nothing too exciting. I'm just going to name this The Last Checkup. And it's just talking about how I was in for my last checkup on the 18th of January, and I was told that if I didn't start dilating or going to labor, all that great stuff, that I would be induced by the end of the week, around the 22nd. And I went home and I was like feeling like this baby was never going to come, because basically what they were saying is you're not in labor right now, so you're going to have a bit of a wait. And I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I went home. I was a little, disappointed. I was hoping by that time I was just over it, and I was hoping that they would be like, yep, let's take you to the hospital, get you induced, and let's go. And then that night I was lying in bed, and around 6:30 in the morning, that next morning, the 19th, sure enough, I started feeling contractions, and by I think 11 o'clock that morning, Sean had to drive me to the hospital. So it worked really well, and I just thought it was kind of ironic, and I didn't get to, I wasn't with it enough to remind Sean to take a photo of me that day, before we were like when we were in the hospital, to take a photo of me still pregnant. So this is kind of my last photo of pregnancy, and I just really wanted to be able to document it. And so my journaling is just kind of talking about that as well, and the experience I had, and how lucky I was that I did not have to wait a whole nother week. I was due on the 19th of January, and Jackson arrived on the 19th. So for my first pregnancy, him being on time, I did pretty good, and I was really happy about it, because oh man, I just couldn't wait any longer. I don't know, when you guys go over weeks, oh, mommies, you are brave, because I couldn't do it. I was just done. So that's what it's talking about. Sorry, a bit of a tangent there. That's nothing to do with scrapbooking. And so what else are you going to see me do here? So basically my layout is pretty much where it's at. I'm not going to do a whole lot more. I really wanted to keep it simple and clean and basic, so you're not going to see a whole lot more, but I do add little pieces here and there, and you're going to see that. So the first thing I'm going to do is you're going to see me tapping my fingers, because I'm thinking, but I am going to grab just a few pieces of squares and a little bit of tissue paper. So what I'm doing is trying to help balance out the two bags in my photo, so that it all looks like it's not just floating in the middle of my layout, because it's not at the very bottom. So I wanted a bit of an anchor or a shelf there. So I simply just grabbed two little squares that I've had from my leftover Fancy Free collection from some stuff that I've been doing, and they're both in black and white, so I thought that worked really well. It's kind of a little bit there, but it's noticeable, but it's not, so I really liked that. It helped anchor both of those bags. And then I also just grabbed this piece of scrap paper. I had done a layout on it and ripped it up because I didn't want to do it anymore, but I really wanted to be able to use this paper still. So I really loved that I was able to place my photo in a way where it covered up the imperfections of it, but I still was able to use it, and you can still tell that it's hearts. And it really helps to connect with that upper layer where that border strip that I used has the wood grain, so that helps connect everything together, and I really love the way that looks. And then I wanted to do the opposite. So at the top there, you can see me playing with two of those little strips there. I really wanted to grab that teal to help bring that in and help tie that in with the bottom of my layout, which had a lot of teal. So that's why you see me doing that. I'm playing around with if I'm going to use one or two strips. I believe I just stick with the one and the teal one there. And then at the bottom, which you can't see right now, is that little also tip of teal that I used, and that's just helped tying everything in. And I'm going to add some of these awesome red felties, and I add them in 3 different places. They're really, really pretty, and I love them. And I'm also going to add a piece from the Paige Evans collection that just says Celebrate Today, and that's going to be my layout. So thanks everyone so much for watching, and I'll be back next Thursday with another minimalist.